There was a man who believed deeply in manifestation. Not casually, not as a trend. He believed in it with the kind of devotion usually reserved for religion. Every morning he visualized his future. Every night he affirmed it. He imagined the house, the relationship, the financial freedom, the sense of peace he was certain was coming. And yet, year after year, nothing changed. Life stayed stubbornly the same. Bills arrived, opportunities passed. Time moved forward, but his reality did not. The strange part wasn't that manifestation wasn't working. The strange part was that the more patiently he waited for it to work, the further away everything seemed to become. One evening, after repeating the same affirmations he had spoken for years, he caught himself thinking something dangerous. Why am I still waiting? That thought scared him. Because waiting had become part of his identity. Waiting meant hope. Waiting meant faith. Waiting meant he was doing it right. Or so he thought. But what if waiting wasn't neutral? What if waiting was the very signal blocking everything he wanted? What if manifestation doesn't respond to desire, effort, or belief at all, but to something far more uncomfortable? Your relationship with time, expectation, and readiness? And what if the moment you stop waiting is the exact moment reality starts moving? Most people are taught that manifestation is about patience. Trust the timing. It will come when you're ready. Just wait and keep believing. These phrases sound wise. They sound spiritual. They sound safe. But beneath them lies an assumption so deeply ingrained that almost no one questions it. The assumption that what you want exists somewhere in the future, separate from you, and that your role is to wait for it to arrive. Waiting feels passive, but energetically, it is not. Waiting is a declaration. It tells reality, I am not there yet. It broadcasts a subtle but constant signal of postponement. And the quantum field does not respond to words, intentions, or hope. It responds to states. It responds to coherence. It responds to whether your consciousness is oriented toward now or trapped in later. Here is the paradox most manifestation teachings never address. The moment you are waiting for something to happen, you have already placed yourself in the timeline where it has not happened yet. Waiting is not patience. Waiting is identification with absence. And the universe is extraordinarily precise. It does not give you what you want. It reflects who you are being. So if you are being someone who is waiting, reality can only mirror more waiting. This is why manifestation seems to work for people who weren't trying, who gave up, who stopped caring, or who moved on. It's not because desire disappeared. It's because waiting did. And without waiting, the energetic barrier collapsed. But to understand why this happens, you need to completely rethink how time, expectation, and identity function at the quantum level. From a very early age, you were trained to experience life as a sequence. Now first, later second. Effort first, reward later. Waiting became synonymous with maturity, discipline, and worthiness. If you waited long enough, worked hard enough, proved yourself consistently enough, eventually, you would be allowed to receive. This linear model works reasonably well in mechanical systems. It does not work in consciousness-based systems. Reality, at its most fundamental level, is not linear. The quantum field does not experience time as past, present, and future. All states exist simultaneously. Every version of you, every outcome, every possibility already exists as a complete configuration of energy and information. Manifestation is not the creation of a future event. It is the selection of a present state. Waiting breaks this mechanism because waiting assumes separation. When you wait, you position what you want as not now. And by doing so, you align your consciousness with the version of reality where it is absent. This is not philosophical. This is vibrational. Consciousness collapses probability into experience based on coherence. Waiting introduces incoherence. Think of it this way. Imagine tuning a radio. You don't wait for the station to come to you. You align the frequency. The moment the frequency matches, the signal is there. Instantly. There is no delay. There is no process. There is no patience required. Manifestation works the same way. The delay you experience is not time-based. It is frequency-based. When you are waiting, your frequency is split. Part of you desires, another part expects absence. That split creates interference. The field responds by maintaining the pattern you are broadcasting most consistently, not having yet. This is why people who are manifesting often feel exhausted. Waiting is emotionally taxing. It keeps the nervous system in a low-grade state of anticipation, which is biologically similar to stress. Anticipation tells the body, something is missing, but it might arrive. The nervous system never fully relaxes into safety, and without safety, coherence cannot stabilize. Your nervous system is not interested in your affirmations. It is interested in signals of now. Does this moment feel complete or incomplete? Safe or unsafe? Settled or suspended? Waiting keeps the system suspended, and a suspended system cannot lock into a new state. This is where most manifestation practices unintentionally sabotage themselves. Visualization becomes a rehearsal of absence. Affirmations become reminders that something is not here yet. Gratitude becomes conditional, tied to a future outcome. None of this is malicious, but energetically it reinforces the same pattern. Later, not now. The moment manifestation begins to work is often the moment people stop waiting because something inside them shifts from anticipation to neutrality. They stop checking, stop scanning, stop asking, is it here yet? That inner release is not giving up. It is coherence returning. When you stop waiting, something subtle but profound happens. Your identity changes. You are no longer someone who is becoming. You become someone who is being. And reality reorganizes itself around identity far faster than it ever responds to desire. This is why manifestation cannot be forced. Force implies resistance. Waiting implies distance. Both reinforce separation. The only state that collapses separation is presence. Not mindfulness as a technique, but presence as an orientation. Presence says, I am not on my way to life. I am in it. At the quantum level, this matters more than intention. Because intention without presence is just imagination pointed forward. Presence anchors consciousness into a specific state, and states are what select timelines. Most people are unconsciously waiting not just for outcomes, but for permission. Permission to relax. Permission to feel satisfied. Permission to stop striving. They believe they must earn the right to feel complete. But completeness is not a reward, it is a frequency. And frequencies must be embodied, not awaited. This is why the advice act as if only works when misunderstood correctly. It is not about pretending. Pretending keeps waiting alive. True embodiment has no sense of delay. When someone is embodied, they are not hoping to become confident. They are confident now. They are not rehearsing abundance. They are settled in sufficiency now. And reality responds immediately because the signal is clean. Waiting contaminates the signal. There is another layer most people never consider. Waiting is often a form of control disguised as trust. By waiting, the mind maintains oversight. It monitors progress. It checks for evidence. It measures distance. This keeps the ego involved. And the ego operates exclusively in time. It cannot access the field directly. Manifestation works when the ego steps aside. And the ego steps aside not through effort, but through irrelevance. When you stop waiting, you stop monitoring. When you stop monitoring, you stop interfering. And when you stop interfering, coherence stabilizes. This is why surrender is always misunderstood. Surrender is not resignation. It is the release of temporal grip. It is the refusal to position fulfillment in the future. It is the quiet decision to stop living on the way to life. People often ask, if I stop waiting, won't I stop wanting? And the answer is no. Wanting and waiting are not the same. Wanting is resonance. Waiting is postponement. Wanting can exist fully in the present. Waiting cannot. When desire is present without waiting, it becomes curiosity rather than need, openness rather than tension, readiness rather than longing. And readiness is the state the field responds to fastest. This is also why impatience and urgency block manifestation just as much as passivity. Both are forms of waiting. One is anxious waiting, the other is patient waiting. Energetically, they are identical. Both say, not yet. The only signal that does not say, not yet, is embodiment. Embodiment does not mean having everything physically in place. It means your nervous system, identity, and emotional baseline are no longer oriented toward arrival. You are not living in pre-life. You are living in life. And when you live in life, life moves toward you. Manifestation does not respond to hope. It responds to presence. It does not respond to belief. It responds to embodiment. And it does not respond to waiting, no matter how patient, spiritual, or well-intentioned that waiting may be. The moment you stop waiting, you stop telling reality that your life is on hold. You stop broadcasting delay. You stop reinforcing the identity of someone who is almost there. And in that moment, something fundamental shifts. Not because you tried harder, but because you finally stopped postponing yourself. You were never meant to wait for life to begin. You were never meant to stand at the door of your own experience, hoping it would open. The door was never locked. It was only delayed by your belief that you had to arrive somewhere else first. Manifestation works when waiting ends, because waiting was the only thing keeping you out of alignment. When you stop waiting, you are no longer reaching for the future. You are meeting reality where it already is. And reality has no choice but to meet you there.